Hello, my name is Karen Trigg. I've been working in architectural hardware for 28 years, and for the past 4 years, I've been working with the Legion. As well as serving a portfolio of customers, I also provide CPD presentations on fire safety hardware and inclusive design. This opportunity to speak at Fire Buyer Live is fantastic, as my passion is to develop knowledge within the industry. The government statistics for fires in the UK in 2020, fire and rescue services attended 528,278 incidents, of which 153,278 of those were fires. 86,140 incidents were secondary fires, i.e. fires not involving people or property. But 64,066 incidents were primary fires. Those are fires that occurred in domestic buildings or vehicles or other building types. This amounts to an average of 175 fires per day in 2020. Fires are unpredictable, so we need to take steps to reduce the chances of them starting. And if they do, be prepared with safeguards and plans in place to save lives and limit damage to property. So these are the top 5 causes of fires in the UK. Number 1 being cooking, electrical wiring and appliances at 2, candles and open flames at 3, smoking and heating at 5. I have picked on 3 of the top of the 5 causes of fires, cooking being number 1. It's easy to see why, with flammable liquids being used in the kitchen, like cooking oil. To keep the kitchen and working area clear and clean, turn saucepan handles to the side or to the rear of the hob to avoid spills or knocking them, especially when cooking with oil. Keep electrical leads from trailing or going near the stove, and keep towels and dishcloths and other flammable materials away from the hob and the oven. Stay in the kitchen. Turn the hob off, even if you only leave for a short period of time. These safeguards can be used in any sector with cooking facilities, so i.e. hospitality, health, and education. Next, we move on to electrical appliances. Make sure electrical appliances are in a good condition. Check the wires aren't frayed. Report or replace faulty equipment immediately. Check major appliances like fridges, cookers, washers are plugged directly into the wall socket. Do not use extension leads for these devices or appliances. Portable heaters. Check with the manufacturer's details. Are they suitable for use with an extension lead? Electrical appliances. Are they portable appliance tested or PAT for short? How can you tell if they are? If they are tested, they will come with a sticker either on the plug or the wire, which will tell you it's passed. It will give you the date of the test, the date of the retest, the tester's initials, and the testing company's details. But whilst portable appliance testing is not a legal requirement in the UK at the moment, there are product safety regulations in place for rental, commercial, schools, or healthcare for all electrical equipment to be in a safe condition. Never leave electric items switched on or plugged in overnight if you don't have to. And don't overload extension leads and sockets. If you use the cassette type extension leads, fully unwind them when being used. They become incredibly hot in use. With candles and open flames, it's common sense. Place candles on a stable surface and out of reach of children and animals. Keep candles away from curtains or flammable liquids and clothing and bedding. And never fall asleep while candles are burning. Because we cannot predict when a fire could start, fire protection is therefore vital. Fire protection in a building is either active or passive. With the active fire protection, These can be the fire alarms or sprinkler systems if there's one installed. As for the passive, the fire door forms part of the passive fire protection. There are two common categories of fire doors, FD30s and FD60, which give a fire rating offer of 30 minutes and 60 minutes fire protection. Fire doors in a compartment walls separating two buildings should therefore be a minimum of 60-minute fire protection, whereas fire doors having access to escape routes should be a minimum of 30-minute fire protection. This seems to be deemed sufficient for safe evacuation of the building. Fire doors should also be CE certified. From the image at the bottom of the slide, you can see a typical example of this. This would normally be fitted in the top of the door. So on this certificate here, you would get the fire certificate number, the unique serial sequential number of the door, the door manufacturer's name and the door manufacturer's telephone number, and also the fire door rating. What this plug gives you is traceability on this fire door. You can tell from these details what hardware should be fitted to this fire door. Fire doors should be CE certified. They are there in the event of a fire. These doors can save lives and property, but only if working correctly. Door closers must also be CE certified in the application that has been fitted. It's a minimum power size 3 for a fire door. The improved safety against fires by automatically closing doors after they have been opened, reducing the risk of smoke and fire spreading through the building. Closers, as I said, should be CE certified and a classification code. That classification code for mechanical closers is BS-EN 1154, and for electromechanical closers, BS-EN 1155. All dedicated fire doors, other than those to locked cupboards or service ducts, should be fitted with a door closing device. The door's closing device should be capable of closing the door from any opening angle and strong enough to overcome any resistance of any latch or sealing systems. So are your fire doors performing? Do they close from any angle? Do they require adjusting? If you have a spring adjustable closer, these can be easily adjusted by removing the cover, and there's an Allen key valve inside the body of the closer that you can adjust. Sometimes these need adjusting because of air pressure differentials between summer and winter. For instance, in the winter, your door closer might need to be stronger to overcome the air pressure differences. Are the gaps around the door 3 mil? It's crucial for these gaps to be around 3 mil for the performance of the intermittent. In the event of a fire, the intermittent expands and seals the gap around the door. But the gap also needs to be this millimeters because it also prevents wear on the intermittent as the door is being used. Is there a minimum of 3 hinges on the door with all the screws intact? The intermittent should run from the top to the bottom of the door on both sides and across the top of the door. Is the intermittent intact? Is the door, the latch bolt, engaging into the strike? Maintenance is recommended at least every 6 months, but for higher frequency doors, this might be required more frequently, either monthly or weekly. By doing this, this also highlights any issues that you may have with your fire door, and if these can be addressed quickly, they can prevent any further damage to the door that could become costly. But has the door closer been removed, or is the door closer inconvenient? There are units out there that would suit any situation. So for instance, if you had a user with dexterity issues, or you've got users that want to get prams or trolleys through a door, you might consider a delayed action closer. The delay is on the closing circle of the closer, and this can be set to a maximum of 25 seconds on a fire door. You then have electromagnetic hold open closers. Now, these are useful for in corridor areas where you might want clear access or exits. But on the event of a fire, these power is cut to the unit and the door closer closes the door. You could have electromagnetic free swing closers. Now, the free swing closer enables the door to operate as if there wasn't a closer there at all. But with the free swing closers, that enables the door to be left at any opening angle. These are useful for care home bedroom doors, for instance. If the resident wants to just come in and out or leave the door open, quite happy to do so and safe to do so. Because in the event of a fire, again, the power is cut to the unit and the door closes. The free swing units are not suitable for corridor areas, purely because as the door can be left at any opening angle, they could present injury to anyone with any sight issues walking towards that door. Signage is important because when, for instance, you're fitting an electromagnetic closer to a door, you're highlighting to people reading that sign that it's an automatic door. So an automatic door, fire door, keep clear. If you've got a mechanical closer to a door, you would require a fire door keep shut sign on that. That also alerts anyone using the door that that fire door should be kept shut. And the fire door keep locked, that would be for use on doors like the cupboard doors or the riser ducts. So the door is kept locked. There's no requirement for a closer. And never disengage a door closer. Never prop open a fire door. If there was to be a fire, the door being propped open or the closer not attached would allow the fire and smoke to spread quickly through the building. They are there to protect you and the property. The fire safety routines. By fire safety routines, this could be as simple as closing your internal doors at night time. Again, keep your hallways and stairwells clear, because at night it would be very difficult to negotiate a cluttered hallway in your bid to escape the building. Again, turn off and unplug unnecessary electrical appliances. Install smoke alarms and regularly check they are working. Plan an escape route and, if possible, a second backup one in case the first one is not accessible due to the fire. Also, know where your keys are for exit doors. If you lock your doors at night and your windows, know where the keys are. If you have window keys, perhaps put them on a hook behind the curtain. And then in public and commercial buildings, fire tests are carried out regularly. If we adopt the same for our homes, we can feel better equipped to deal with the unpredictable nature of fire. But legislation also introduced to provide a minimum fire safety standard in all non-domestic properties. The Safety Order of 2005 meant that building owners were responsible for fire safety and escape. Never lock a fire exit door. Never block fire exit passageways. If you have users or untrained people in the public, always have panic hardware that has to cover across at least 60% of the door, and the door must always open away from you. Whereas if you have less than 60 people, perhaps in an office block, and these people are trained in the event of a fire, you could use escape hardware. Now, these doors can open towards you as well as away from you. Well, thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation. Whilst I have not been able to give you the ability to predict fires, I hope it has given you some insight into why we have fire protection and fire doors within our buildings.